right, so next we'll talk about how to make sense of the data. What you will learn in this section is how to group your findings. You have lots of sticky notes up on the wall now. And how to make sense of all this data you have now poured out. Clustering is one way to make sense out of the data. We have different ways, for example, affinity diagrams. But in this course, we will focus on clustering to get you started. So why is clustering useful? Well, it helps you organize your findings. You will not want to refer back to your notes. And so it helps you relate what you found to each other. It helps you surface common patterns and also helps you identify themes. So for example, there might be common patterns amongst frequent and infrequent travelers, or there might be common patterns between certain tasks that these people are doing. So how is this exactly done? Well, you group your findings into meaningful themes. Those kind of emerge as you look at your data. So for example, in the travel case, we found a lot of findings that were related to receipts. You look for commonalities across participants and also actually for differences. So for example, frequent travelers and infrequent travelers, and what do they have in common? Once you have identified some of these groupings and themes, give them a meaningful headline and title. It's one of these things that stick with you and you'll use throughout your project. Come up with the main insights per theme. So now you have a bunch of data, and now how do you actually have the aha moment out of that data? So for example, with all our receipt findings, one of the insights was that travelers actually use the receipt to keep track of their expenses and make sure they expensed everything. So let me give you some tips. Clustering is very organic. It's not something you do right away. It actually takes some time, and you might have to step back from your data. Sometimes the insights also are not right away obvious. So give it some time, come back to your data, and think about it deeply. What's the aha moment? What's the big conclusion? Also, if you have a lot of interviews, plan for a 1 or 2 day session to actually make sense out of your data. So you might spend day 1 on actually reporting out what you found, and day 2 on clustering and insights.